What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we discuss the next chapter in the ViewAskewniverse, 1999's Dogma, starring Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Linda Fiorentino, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, Salma Hayek, Jason Lee, Alan Rickman, Chris Rock, George Carlin, Janine Garofalo, and Alanis Morissette. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today we're going to discuss the next chapter of the ViewAskewniverse, 1999's Dogma. And our movie opens with two fallen angels, Bartleby and Loki, who were eternally banished from heaven to Wisconsin because of insubordination after Loki resigned as the angel of death. Now, while in Wisconsin, Bartleby receives an anonymous letter in the mail which contains a newspaper article that contains a way for him and Loki to return to heaven. A rededication ceremony of a church in Red Bank, New Jersey, which will allow anyone who enters the church during the rededication festivities to receive plenary indulgence, remitting all sins. Essentially a clean slate for everything you've ever done in your past. If the banished angels were to undergo this rite and enter the church and then die after transmuting into human form, God would have no choice but to allow their re-entry into heaven. We then meet Bethany Sloan, an abortion clinic counselor, as she attends service at her church in Illinois. An offering is being held in order to stop a New Jersey hospital from pulling the plug on John Doe Jersey, a homeless man after being attacked on the Jersey boardwalk, who is now in a coma. That evening, the Metatron, the voice of God, appears before Bethany and explains that if Bartleby and Loki succeed in re-entering heaven, they will overrule the Word of God, disprove the fundamental concept of God's omnipotence, and nullify all existence. Metatron tells Bethany that her and two prophets must stop the angels and save the universe. Now that she is a target, Bethany is attacked by the Stygian triplets, the same boys who attacked John Doe Jersey. The hoodlums are driven off by the two foretold prophets, Jay and Silent Bob. Soon after, Bethany and the prophets are joined by Rufus, the 13th apostle, left out of the Bible because he's black. Not long after Rufus's joining of the group, they meet Serendipity, a muse of creative inspiration who is responsible for 19 of the top 20 highest grossing films of all time at that point in 1999. Every movie that was one of the top 20 highest grossing films, with the exception of Home Alone, she was responsible for. Serendipity is now working in a strip club as she searches for her own inspiration. And then there's Azrael, a demon from hell, who is responsible for Bartleby and Loki's quest, who summons the Golgothan, a vile creature made up of human excrement that Silent Bob is able to immobilize with a can of aerosol air freshener. The group then takes a train to New Jersey, where Bethany ends up encountering Bartleby, while Loki hangs out with Jay and Silent Bob. A drunken Bethany ends up revealing her mission to Bartleby, who as a result tries to kill her. After a short skirmish, Bob throws the angels off of the train, and it now begins to dawn on Bartleby and Loki the consequences of their scheme. And Loki wants no part in unmaking all of existence. But Bartleby, the same man who once talked the angel of death, Loki, into quitting his position because he felt sorry for mankind, remains angry at God for their expulsion. And I'm going to take a moment right here because this scene in Dogma really helped solidify my like for Ben Affleck as an actor. So I want you guys to check this scene out, and we'll come right back afterwards.
The apostle is here. I noticed. Well, then you know who the chick with him was, don't you?
The scion, I imagine.
Shit, man. Oh, look, maybe we should rethink this whole thing. I mean, you heard the guy. He said there are consequences. And Azrael tells us we're marked. Look, man, there is more to this than we thought about.
This close. You know, I'm slitting bitches through. You know how I felt? Righteous. Justified. Eager.
All right, man, your eyes are kind of...
My eyes are open. For the first time, I get it. When that little innocent girl let her mission slip, I had an epiphany. See, in the beginning, it was just us and him, angels and God. Then he created humans. Ours was designed to be a life of servitude and worship and bowing and scraping and adoration. He gave them more than he ever gave us. He gave them a choice. They choose to acknowledge God or choose to ignore him. All this time we've been down here, I've felt the absence of the divine presence, and it's pained me, as I'm sure it must have pained you. And why? Because of the way he made us. Had we been given free will, we could choose to ignore the pain like they do. But no, we're servants.
You know, all I'm saying here is that one of us might need a bit of help.
Wake up! These humans have besmirched everything he's bestowed upon them. They were given paradise, they threw it away. They were given this planet, they destroyed it. They were favored best among all his endeavors. And some of them don't even believe he exists. And in spite of it all, he has shown them infinite fucking patience at every turn. What about us? I asked you once to lay down the sword because I felt sorry for them. What was the result? Our expulsion from paradise. Where was his infinite fucking patience then? It's not right. It's not fair. We've paid our debt. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time we went home? And to do that, I think we may have to dispatch our would-be dispatchers.
Wait. Kill them? You're talking about the last scion, for Christ's sake. And what about Jay and Bob? I mean, those guys were all right.
Don't, my friend. See, don't let your sympathies get the best of you. They did me once. Scion or not, she's just a human. And by passing through that arch, our sins are forgiven. No harm, no foul.
My God, I've heard a rant like this before.
What did you say?
I've heard a rant like this before.
What did you fucking...
You sound like the morning star.
You shut your
You
fucking
do! You
mouth,
sound like
Sarah.
Lucifer, man! You fucking lost it! You're not talking about going home, Bartleby. You're talking about fucking war on God. Well, fuck that. I have seen what happens to the proud when they take on the throne. I'm going back to Wisconsin.
We're going home, Loki. And no one, not you, not even the Almighty himself, is gonna make that otherwise.
Such an intense and powerful scene. Like I said, that is my favorite Ben Affleck scene pretty much in any movie. Now, as you can see, Bartleby is angry at God for giving humans free will while demanding servitude from angels, and he resolves to proceed with their mission. Bethany then begins to question as to why she has been called upon to save the universe, demanding answers as to why God can't do it himself. The Metatron shows up and informs the group that God's whereabouts are unknown, that he disappeared while visiting New Jersey in human form to play skee-ball. And the task now falls to Bethany as it is revealed that she is the last scion, a distant but direct blood relative of Jesus Christ. The group attempts to convince Cardinal Glick to cancel the rededication celebration, but they fail. Jay, being Jay, then steals one of Glick's golf clubs as a result. Their only remaining option is to keep the angels out of the church, but Azrael and the triplets trap them in a bar in order to prevent them from doing so. At this point, Azrael reveals to the group that he sent the news clipping to Bartleby and Loki, and that he would rather end all existence than to return to the pits of hell for all eternity. Silent Bob is able to kill Azrael with the Cardinals' golf club, which Glick had blessed in order to improve his golf game. Bethany then blesses the bar sink, and Rufus, Serendipity, and Jay drown the triplets in holy water. The group then races to the church where Bartleby has killed Glick, his parishioners, and assorted bystanders. When Loki, who is now wingless and therefore a mortal, attempts to stop Bartleby, Bartleby kills Loki as well. Jay then attempts to seduce Bethany before all existence can end. And when he mentions John Doe, Jersey, Bethany finally puts all the clues together. And Bethany and Bob race across the street to the hospital as the others try to block Bartleby and the path to the church. Bethany is able to disconnect John Doe's life support, liberating God, but killing herself in the process. Bartleby then reaches the entrance of the church, where he is met by the Metatron and God herself, where God annihilates Bartleby with her own awesome voice. And this is why the Metatron speaks for God, because if anybody were to hear God's voice, they would just be murdered brutally. They even mentioned in the film they went through 5 Adams before they figured that out. Bob arrives on the scene with Bethany's lifeless body, and God resurrects her and places a baby in her womb via Immaculate Conception, the new last scion. Our film ends with God, Metatron, Rufus, and Serendipity returning to heaven, leaving behind Bethany and the prophets on earth to reflect on the past and their future. Not only does this film contain my favorite Ben Affleck scene. Now, I kind of was already an Affleck fan by the time I saw Dogma. I didn't see it when it released in 99. I saw it a few years later. I want to say I saw it in like 03, 04. But I had never been a Matt Damon fan prior to Dogma. Dogma made me a Matt Damon fan. And part of what made me a Matt Damon fan was his scene early on in the film when we first meet Bartleby and Loki, where he's going over the walrus and the carpenter from Alice in Wonderland through the looking glass and how it relates to religion. I want you guys to take a look at that scene right now, because that scene and Damon's performance in this film really helped turn me into a Damon fan. Check this one out.
Let me get this straight. You don't believe in God because of Alice in Wonderland?
Not through the looking glass. That poem, The Walrus and the Carpenter, that's an indictment of organized religion. The walrus, with his girth and his good nature, he obviously represents either Buddha or with his tusks, the Hindu elephant god, Lord Ganesha. That takes care of your Eastern religions. Now, the carpenter, which is an obvious reference to Jesus Christ, who was raised the carpenter's son, he represents the Western religions. Now, in the poem, what do? What do? They dupe all these oysters into following them and then proceed to shuck and devour the helpless creatures en masse. Now, I don't know what that says to you, but to me, it says that following these faiths based on mythological figures ensures the destruction of one's inner being. Organized religion destroys who we are by inhibiting our actions, by inhibiting our decisions, out of fear of some intangible parent figure who shakes a finger at us from thousands of years ago and says, do it, and I'll fucking spank you.
The way you put it, I've never really thought about it like that before. What have I been doing with my life? What am I...
Yeah, I know. Listen, my advice to you, you take this money that you've been collecting for your parish, go get yourself a nice dress, you know? Fix yourself up. Find some man, find some woman that you can connect with, even for a moment, because that's really all that life is, sister. It's a series of moments. Why don't you seize yours? Atta girl. Atta girl.
Hilarious stuff. The way he was able to turn that nun completely 180 onto his side and make her see things in a light that she had never seen him before just made me fall out laughing the first time I saw it. And to this day, every time I see it, I start cracking it. So between Damon's performance in this and this film making me a Matt Damon fan, and that scene with Ben Affleck, which, like I said, is probably my favorite Ben Affleck scene in any movie. This film is very easily my favorite in the ViewAskewniverse. And the funny thing is, I'm not a religious person, but I think that's part of what I like about it so much is that it takes religion seriously without taking it too seriously. It points out the flaws in a lot of organized religion. And there's people that I know that are very religious that can't watch this film because they feel like it's blasphemy. And there's other people that I know that are religious that can sit back and laugh at this because they realize it's satire, it's comedy. It's meant to make you think without being a complete indictment of religion. I love this film. When it comes to my rating of Dogma, this is probably going to get the highest marks of all of them. I give Dogma 5 out of 5 stars. No questions whatsoever. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, George Carlin, hilarious. Alan Rickman as the Metatron, amazing. Alanis Morissette as God at the end, holy hell. Talk about a smack you in the face casting decision that I didn't see coming. Tremendous, tremendous. Kudos to Kevin Smith on this one. I feel Dogma is his masterpiece. What do you guys out there think? Those of you that have seen Dogma, if you're watching the live stream premiere, let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand, let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments down here. But whatever you do, guys, when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get your Renegade JJ Williams shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get your official merchandise of the Jeff Meacham Network, 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, so much more. It's still summertime, still got those pool parties, beach bonfires, barbecues. Go to the Teespring store, get yourself a tank top. You can choose from the Renegade JJ Williams or Meachamania. Either one's the perfect accessory for those hot summer days and those even hotter summer nights. Get out there, show your love and support. While you're showing your love and support, do what that ticker tells you to do. Do you enjoy my content, my daily videos? If so, go to that PayPal. Send me a few bucks as a donation. Keep in mind, I'm not monetized, so I don't make any money off of YouTube. Trying to get my viewership hours up so I can become monetized. Only way I'm going to make any money right now is if you guys out there go to that PayPal link and send me a small donation. You don't want to send me any money? That's fine. Go to the Linktree link. It's my birthday month after all. Go to the Linktree link, click on the link for my Amazon movie wish list. Select a film from there, constantly adding and updating. Order a movie. When it comes, I'll open it up live on Renegade Recap, as I always do, give you guys a shout out, and then when I factor it into one of my monthly themes and sit down, watch it, and review it, I'll give you guys another shout out, and I'll show all of you the same amount of love and support that you guys show to me. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we take a look at the next installment in the ViewAskewniverse, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That's right, our lovable stoners are going to get their own central focus movie, starring Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, Ben Affleck, Jason Lee, Chris Rock, Will Ferrell, Shannon Elizabeth, and so many others. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, when we take a look at Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. All my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in, watching the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Likewise, to all my fans and viewers out there showing your support, tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all my loyal fans and viewers out there that tune in on a daily basis, watch my videos, and support me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time.